today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my top 10 favourite Christmas movies of all time. So we are getting into that festive spirit, so it's almost Christmas time, guys. So yeah, let's just go through all of my top 10 favourite Christmas movies of all time. This is going to be a completely non-biased review. This video is not sponsored or anything. So let's just get straight into it, from number 10 all the way up to number 1. So my number 10 favourite Christmas movie of all time is Fred Claus. So, Fred Claus is a 2007 family/comedy movie. The main character is Vince Vaughn, who plays Fred Claus. And it's basically Fred, Santa Claus's older brother, is in dire need of money. So, setting aside the bitter feelings he harbours towards his brother, he asks him for a loan. So, basically, this is a very family-friendly Christmas movie right here. And it's just a really wholesome movie. Not much really to say about it. I did watch this movie ages ago. It's just a really, really solid Christmas movie. Definitely not worthy of being like on the top 3, but I definitely just had to put this movie in this list somewhere. So number 10, Fred Claus. So not much to say about it. Just a really, really good film. Very funny, very family friendly. So basically, coming in at number 9, we have got, and you guys have probably been expecting this film to be on this list somewhere, it is Love Actually. So, Love Actually is a very famous Christmas movie. Most of you have probably already seen it by now. But it came out in 2003. It is a comedy/romance film. So most of these films on this list, you will notice, are comedy movies, because most Christmas movies are just comedy. So that's basically what you get. But yeah, so this is actually a romance Christmas movie. And the film narrates the story of 8 couples, a mixed bag of ages and walks of life, who encounter love in their own special ways. All this in the beautiful days leading up to Christmas in London. So it is set in London. And yes, so it's just a really, the same thing, just a really wholesome movie. This is a classic Christmas movie. Classic soundtracks in here. That Christmas is All Around song, that's a classic. It's a remix of that Love is All Around song. So it's just, yeah, just a really good story, really wholesome. And yeah, I just really enjoy this. You just can't go, you can't have a Christmas without watching Love Actually. That's just the rule, guys. So overall, just really good movie. So basically, coming in at number 8, we have got, and I'm not too sure if you'd really classify this as a Christmas movie. You don't really think of this movie when you think of Christmas movies, but it is Little Fockers, guys. So Little Fockers is the 3rd film in the Meet the Parents / Meet the Fockers franchise, and it is a Christmas-themed movie. It came out in December 2010. And yeah, so this is another comedy/romance film, and it's got obviously Ben Stiller as the main actor there, and Owen Wilson. And yeah, so basically we've got Ben Stiller acting as Greg Focker, and it's basically just the Christmas-themed edition of the Meet the Parents franchise. And it's just about a strict and old-fashioned patriarch, Jack Burns, who is played by Robert De Niro. And he is unhappy with his son-in-law, Greg, aka Ben Stiller, when he takes up a second job at a drug company. So he wants him to prove his capability by testing him. So it's basically just the same sort of premise as the Meet the Parents film. It's just really funny. Just Ben Stiller is just a great actor. Pretty sure this is actually the only Christmas film Ben Stiller has done, because he is Jewish, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, just really good. He's just a great actor. Him and Robert De Niro are they just have very good chemistry. So Little Fockers definitely deserve to be on this list somewhere. So that's yeah, that's number 8 for you guys. And coming in at number 7, we have got Bad Santa. So this is a very unorthodox film to have on this list. It's a R16 movie. It came out in 2003. It has got a lot of dark comedy in it. So it's basically just a comedy slash drama film. And yeah, it's just really unorthodox. There are a lot of interesting moments in this film here, but it's basically just rather than spreading good cheer, Willie, a swindler dressed up as Santa, and his elf partner Marcus try to rob a mall. Their motive fails when the thief befriends an 8-year-old boy. So it's just a really, really funny film. If I'm being honest, this is probably the funniest film on this list. I definitely would put this movie higher, but there's just so many other classics in this list we've still got to go over. But definitely worthy of being at least number 7 on this list. Like, it is just so funny. It's a 2003 classic and just never gets old. I definitely would not recommend you guys watch this as a family movie. This is definitely not a family movie to say the least, but just really funny. By far the funniest film on this list, so that's Bad Santa. So coming in at number 8, we have got Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. So Home Alone 2 is the second and final film to star Macaulay Culkin, or however the hell you say his name, who is playing as Kevin McAllister. And it's just a really classic film, probably not as good as the first Home Alone, and I'm just going to say it now, Home Alone 1 is the next on this list, number 5. So yeah, number 6, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. And it's just a really funny film, very family friendly. It came out in 1992, and it's just it's a classic film. Donald Trump was in this movie, by the way. It had the classic sort of premise of the two sort of criminals coming after what's his name, Kevin, and it's basically just the story is Kevin accidentally boards a flight to New York City and gets separated from his family, who are on their way to Miami. He then bumps into two of his old enemies who plan to rob a toy store. So it's the same two criminals that were in the first film. And it's basically, when you think about it, it's the opposite of what happened in the first Home Alone. Because basically Kevin, instead of being stuck at home, he goes on the wrong flight and then he's completely separated from his family, except now he's the one that's away from the house, and the family are the ones that are trying to find him. But it's just a nice little switch up from the first Home Alone, and very, very good film. It's not like one of those sequels that you just think, oh, this should not have been made at all. This is a very good addition to the first Home Alone, and yeah, both films are just classics. But any other Home Alone after Home Alone 2, just don't even bother. I'm telling you now, just don't even watch any Home Alone that's not number 1 or 2. Looking at you, Home Sweet Home Alone, that came out in 2021, just the greedy corporate bastards just had to, capitalize on this whole Home Alone franchise and make all these prequels and sequels. They should have just kept the two films. They just are both as good as each other, and they didn't need anything after that, in my opinion, especially when Macaulay Culkin is not going to be acting as the main cast member there. It's just not worth it. But basically, as I just said before, number 5, we have got Home Alone, and I'm pretty sure at least 90% of you guys have already watched this movie, so I don't really need to explain what it's all about. But yeah, I just remember watching this Home Alone 1 and 2 at school, guys. We had like a marathon of Home Alone before Christmas time. And yeah, I just have some really good memories of watching this film here. It is just a classic Christmas movie. It's the same thing. You just cannot go and have a Christmas without watching Home Alone. Very good, very funny for the whole family, and yeah, it's just a complete classic, 1990 classic. So basically, after Home Alone, coming in at number 4, we have got Daddy's Home 2. So this is a Will Ferrell movie. I've got Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg acting together, and it's the sequel, obviously, to Home Alone 1. So it's basically just the Christmas edition to Daddy's Home. It came out in 2017. It is a comedy slash drama film, and it's just a really solid movie. Very underrated in my opinion. Like, when you think of Christmas movies, like classic Christmas movies, you don't really think of Daddy's Home 2, probably because of the fact that it's a sequel to a film that was not a Christmas movie to begin with. So it's basically just a Christmas sort of a spin-off. It's got the same cast members, but it's basically, it follows the premise of Rusty and Brad intend on provoking their children with the perfect Christmas. However, their plans get ruined when their fathers decide to visit them simultaneously. So Rusty, I'm pretty sure, is Mark Wahlberg, and Brad is Will Ferrell. So it's basically just about this family that, this extended family that go on this crazy trip to this log cabin out in the woods, and all this crazy stuff happens, and the casting in this is just perfect. Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg just great together. Their chemistry is great, and yeah, just a really funny storyline. A lot of you guys probably wouldn't be expecting me to put this at number 4 on this list, but it's just a very underrated film. It's very wholesome. The ending is just great in this film, where they all get together in that movie cinema and everyone starts singing, and all the actors come together, all the characters I should say. And yeah, so just Daddy's Home 2, check it out. So coming in at number 3, we have got yet another Will Ferrell film, Elf. So Elf came out in 2003. It is a G-rated film, but honestly, you wouldn't think it was G-rated. Like, this film is so funny for the whole family, so definitely worthy of being number 3 on this list. It's just one of those films that are family friendly, but you just wouldn't expect it. But it's basically about a guy named Buddy who was raised amongst owls in the North Pole. When he discovers that he is not an elf, he travels to New York to search for his biological father. So it's sort of like a fictional thing. So he's an elf that was born and raised in the North Pole, and so it is very out there. It is a very out there film, but it is funny. It's just so absurd, but it's just one of those films that just pulls off the story so well. So it's just so coming in at number 2, you guys are definitely not going to be expecting this one. A lot of you probably might not even know that this one even exists, but we have got Deck the Halls. So Deck the Halls is a 2006 family comedy movie. So it's basically about Steve and his new neighbor Buddy, who try to outdo each other in decorating their houses for Christmas. However, Buddy's extravagantly decorated house overshadows Steve's, causing a conflict. So this is just such a classic film right here. I would definitely recommend that you guys do watch this, because like I said, a lot of you probably might not have even heard of this one, but it's just so underrated. And yeah, it's just so funny seeing these two neighbors just try to outdo each other, and all these things happen. Steve just basically has this crazy new neighbor in his neighborhood, Buddy, who tries to, you know, outdo him, and has got his crazy house with all these lights covering it, and they just have this big war, and I'm pretty sure Steve gets electrocuted at some stage, and it's just so funny. A very funny, family-friendly comedy. Now, coming up to the moment you have all been waiting for, we have got number 1 in this list, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. So this is just such a funny movie. This is, I'm pretty sure, the second National Lampoon Vacation edition in the National Lampoon Vacation franchise. And so it's basically just National Lampoon's Vacation, but with a Christmas sort of theme going on there. So basically they've got the main character Clark Griswold, who is played by Chevy Chase, great actor by the way, and he is really into Christmas and promises to make it a good time until he turns everything completely around, causing a domino effect of disasters. So it's just one of those films that is disaster after disaster, and as it goes on, it just gets more absurd, and everything just explodes at the end. But then at the end, it's just a wholesome moment. It's PG rated. Came out in 1986. It's comedy slash family. And I just love this movie. There's just not much to say. Every Christmas I watch this film. It's honestly the perfect Christmas movie. Definitely worthy of being #1 on this list by far. Honestly, Clark Griswold is just such a funny character. Like, he seems like this ordinary family man from this classic, like, 80s family movie, but then at the end, everything just completely flips around and he freaks out and, like, starts swearing and, like, throws stuff all over the place, and it just leads up to the ending so perfectly. Like, everything just gets more and more chaotic as it goes on. And I don't really know what to say. It's just such a good Christmas movie. This image that you're seeing on the screen right now basically just sums up this whole movie perfectly. It is just such a crazy film. You wouldn't think that this film came out in 1989. Like, it holds up very well. But in saying that, you probably wouldn't be able to get away with making this kind of movie these days. People just don't make these kinds of movies these days, and it's a bit of a shame, but that's why we have these old movies to look back on, I guess. So it's just a great movie, and definitely go check out National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation now. So it is basically everything I had to cover in this list. So just let me know down in the comments down below if you guys agree with my selection, my top 10 favourite Christmas movies of all time. And yeah, so that's basically my top 10 favourite Christmas movies of all time. So I hope you guys learned something from this list, and I hope you guys do check out some of these classics here. And without further ado, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content, and I will see you in the next Christmas special. Peace out.